Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, welcome back. It's been a while. I don't think it'll be a while for you guys though, because I don't think anyone listened to the last one. So,
Hey, don't put us down already, man. Come on.
yeah. So it's been a while for us recording something, even though we've hung out a lot together. Not in person though. Maybe you'll say that one for later. The story
One day.
for later. Yeah. So today we are here to discuss
Our
Oh.
personal top
Yeah.
tens. Yeah.
our personal top tens for
Animated
what's the
films.
top 10 animated movie, right?
Yep.
If you're interested in this, you can drop a comment and let us
Yep.
know what
What's
is
your
your
top 10?
favorite top 10. And across nationalities, languages, and genre, just animated movies
Yes.
across the board. You can just share
Yes.
with us what is your
Everything.
favorite top. And it's just yours. You don't need to feel obliged
Yeah.
to comply to like an objective standard at any point. This is
There's no such thing as an objective standard. I'll always argue this. Objective standards are bullshit and don't exist.
yeah, but you don't need to comply to anyone saying, "Oh, I wouldn't put that there." You know, you can put anything. It
These
just
are
needs
also
to
our opinions, and they'll change every day. So
be- yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It just needs to be an anime thing. That's
Yeah.
all.
Before we start, do you have any honorable mentions that you want to point out?
Okay, this one's gonna be tricky because I haven't added Meet the Robinsons nor Cars to this list, even
Yes,
though
I was gonna point out Cars specifically.
yeah, Meet the Robinsons, I feel, is a movie that's very well deserved to a top 10 video. It should probably be
Way ahead of its
conserved.
time, by the way.
Yeah, it should be conserved in like a national library for animation movies because there is
For
no
sure, for
movie that describes the word Frodiger arrow more than Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got the aesthetic down, the general positivity of the 2000s down in that one movie. So, yeah.
Yep.
So these two movies are the things I'd say are in my honorable mentions. I haven't added both of them, and it feels like in the spur of the moment, I feel the other movies that made it to the top 10 deserve to be there a bit more. Maybe tomorrow, if you
Okay,
ask
okay.
me, I probably put these up in my top 10, but not today. Not today.
Okay. I have a few other things that I'll point out in my honorable mentions.
Okay.
Megamind didn't make it.
Ooh,
Ahead of
yeah,
its
yeah.
time, great movie.
Mm-hmm.
The Lego movie, I have a special charm for. I like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Red Line, which we watched together,
Yeah,
fantastic animation. So good that it bankrupted studio, unfortunately.
Hey, hold on. What about the Lego
Um,
Batman movie?
The Lego Batman movie, yes, another honorable mention for me. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible film. I will say Monster House, which is a movie that I will take time to discuss one day, but that to me is a movie that I love
Oh, I'd
from
love
my
to hear that.
childhood,
I'm not
along
watched
with
that one.
Monsters vs. Aliens. Do you remember that movie?
Which one?
Monsters vs. Aliens.
Oh, no.
That movie I have a lot of love for.
Uh-huh.
And also wanted to mention Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Fantastic stop motion,
Never
amazing
heard of
story.
it, mate. I would love to see this one.
And the other thing that I really wanted to try to fit, but I couldn't, was the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker film, which
Ooh,
which is the reason I love Terry McGinnis as a character.
Ooh,
So
that's an awesome.
I love that film.
All right, to start this off, let's go for both our number 10s. All right.
Number 10. Now, my number 10 was a bit of a battle between this and another movie, which I think you will have in your top 10.
Mm-hmm.
My number 10 was Road to El Dorado, and it barely beat Treasure Planet for me.
Ooh.
Treasure Planet just got knocked out of the top 10 because of Road to El Dorado.
Ooh.
The
So
movie
my
about
number 10
two
is
guys trying to
Treasure
get
Planet.
rich.
My number 10 is Treasure Planet.
Yes, I knew it was gonna happen.
Treasure Planet is iconic, and there was no way I would not put this out of the top 10.
Yeah. We've mentioned, like, in our personal time, we've mentioned that Emp has a bias towards like concepts, and he usually doesn't care so much for the execution all the time.
No,
For
I
me-
would love it if you executed well, but I'm gonna give you special props for trying it out.
Yeah, that's fair. For me, my bias is a vague world building. It doesn't have to be like concrete world building like One Piece or something, but it's vague world building. The reason I love like the John Wick series is because of their vague world building that they do. And Treasure Planet fits in that vague world building category for me, and I love it for that alone, let alone the characters it has.
Here's something underrated that we don't speak about Treasure Planet much: the music.
Yes, fantastic music.
Yeah. All right. Let's go for our number 9s.
Number 9. Go ahead. I said mine first.
Okay.
Your turn now.
My number 9 is Emperor's New Groove.
Oh wow. Okay. So with my top 10, I tried to make it somewhat varied. My number 9 was my first Ghibli movie, the Ghibli movie that stuck in my mind the most, and kind of the generic answer, which is Spirited Away.
Ooh, okay.
Again, it fits into that vague world building trope of I love it simply because of that. The story of the girl is fine. I enjoy it because it's a self-discovery thing, right? But the way that it builds the world out, and it feels like every single scene has so many things going on in the background. Every time I rewatch that movie, I always try to look out for what's happening in the background, something new, and it always like fills me with joy about these random creatures going about doing their thing.
So, alright, that's a good one.
What was your number 9 again?
Emperor's New Groove, because Emperor's New Groove is a movie that when I saw, I realized that, oh, comedy could be done in this manner as well. And it was like real high-end comedy, in my opinion, when I saw it for the very first time, and it still is. One, the way they blended in with the music, and as an audience, most of the jokes in this movie is something that you can see coming, but you're still watching to see how they're going to execute it, right?
Right.
We could see the poisoning scene coming in, but we want to see how it's going to be happening. So it's those kind of minute things that really takes it and makes it into a good movie.
All right, number 8.
Go ahead.
My number 8 is part of a franchise. It's Kung Fu Panda 2.
Ooh.
Now, I know people love Kung Fu Panda 1, but for me, Kung Fu Panda 2 is this like real connection to Po's history and his family, and he's facing the demons that he's been almost like forced to deal with. He didn't choose to be abandoned. He didn't choose for his entire like family race to be destroyed, genocided, killed by this peacock who's arrogant, right? And to me specifically, that very lost scene where he's on that broken piece of the boat and the peacock fires the cannon and he starts learning how to control it and push it away. That's a breathtaking scene to me every day.
Right.
I love watching just that scene alone, let alone the rest of the film.
So I'll be honest, none of the Kung Fu Panda movies made it into my...
What?
Yes, not one. But here's the thing. This is one of those things where like it's right in the honorable mentions thing. It could come up, right? If it was when I was asked to make this list, I made it quite impromptu. I made it in like the very last moment, and I put like the first things that popped up in my mind. And it's kind of sad that Kung Fu Panda didn't pop up in my mind. Neither did Mega Mind for that matter, right? But they should have. But in this case, my number 8, and you're gonna hate this, is Tarzan 2.
Oh, the second one specifically.
Yes, the Kid Tarzan.
Not even second one is Kid Tarzan, yeah.
Yes, I love the Kid Tarzan movie. So I picked that one for my number 2, and I feel like I have a connection to that movie a lot more than Kung Fu Panda 2. But maybe it's just a spur of the moment thing. Maybe if you ask me tomorrow, I'm gonna probably pick Kung Fu Panda 2. But yes, I would pick Kung Fu Panda 2 over 1. Same as you. I feel 2 is a much more superior movie in terms of entertainment all across the board. Yeah.
Okay, but why do you connect with 2 specifically? Is it cause you saw it as a kid? You connected with the kid more?
I saw Tarzan 2, Kung Fu Panda 2 or Tarzan 2? Which one are we talking?
Tarzan 2.
Tarzan 2. I saw that as an adult.
Oh, really?
Yes, I saw that as a legal adult, and I like that movie. because
Legal adult.
yes, the the idea of that whole movie is isolation. It's how you believe that you don't belong anywhere, and you just want to try and conform to that, and then
Right.
it's the world showing onto you that nobody belongs everywhere. It's just who they choose to belong with, and that's how you become a community. It's about that idea of group. And in a way, if you're going into adulthood, I don't think any adult the same age as me would have ever gone for that movie at that point in time. But
Yeah.
it's that idea of like, hey, you're going to college or you're going to your uni, and this is how you might feel alone, you might feel isolated, but there's always a place for everyone. And that was that kind of an idea being propagated through that to the second part. Not the first one, the second.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, there's themes of like belonging and things like that spurred throughout Tarzan as a story, right? That's why he's raised by these animals, these apes. And when the human invaders come in, even though there are people like him, he aligns more with the animals because that's who he grew up around and stuff. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
That's who treated him well. That's who didn't take advantage of. Yeah. Let's speak about the number sevens. No shocking surprise. My number 7 is Tarzan 1.
What? Fair enough. Fair enough. I can't fault you for that.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear yours.
Well, so what's the difference between Tarzan 1 and 2 that made you edge it out?
I think
Edge 1 out over 2.
Tarzan 1, there are specific parts of it I don't like, which is the parts between when he meets Jane and when he decides to stick with his, like, the ape family, yeah? So when he tries to conform to that, I don't really like that. I don't really even still now associate myself with that. But the idea of being rejected by a person that you look up to, because he looks up to Kerchak so much in 1001.
Right.
And the idea of like he's in every possible way trying to meet Kerchak's expectations, but always falling through, and then finally meeting him for Kerchak to pass away, right? And that kind of a scenario was why I feel like, as a kid, it's nothing that you're ever going to go through, but you are vicariously living through that in the movie, and that is why I probably picked that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, every kid has the, oh, I am an orphan? I could be an orphan. I could be the next Bruce Wayne kind of thing. So,
what if?
Yeah,
what
this
if
is one
I'm
of
an
those
orphan?
what ifs, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so my number 7 is a little indie animated film directed by Wes Anderson called Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Ooh.
And Fantastic Mr. Fox was maybe one of the first animated films ever that made me think about something. It made me like actually question what's happening in this film, rather than, you know, when you're a kid you kind of just consume things and everything just feels good at the moment. And this is the first time where so the story in general is about a fox, and he has these animalistic urges to hunt and things like that. I'm not going to give away too much, but
Right, I haven't seen this one, so I'm relying on you for this.
a lot of it deals with self-acceptance, personal struggle, trying to like conform to what the social norms are. But also it couples that up with things like economic insecurities and justice and freedom and class disparities and stuff, and how even though you often feel like the world around you is telling you to be one way, that might not be what makes you the happiest, what makes you the truest self, your best self that you can at the moment. And I remember in the middle of this film, there's this scene where our hero is driving away and he's suddenly faced by a lone wolf that's howling, and we just take this moment. He stops there, he looks at it, he pumps his fist up in the air, and that scene always made me question what is this story telling me about, right? What is important about this specific scene that it ties in to this whole narrative that we're building.
Mm-hmm.
That scene specifically is what made me first think about movies in a completely different way.
Right.
And of course, I have to mention incredible stop motion animation and all these imperfections in it and everything that make it look so real and feel so dynamic. And of course, Wes Anderson's signature camera angles and whatnot, which give it this incredible look as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. You make me want to see this movie. All right. So, your turn.
Number 6.
Yes, number
Yeah.
6.
Number 6 is Aladdin.
Oh, good one. Probably gonna be in
Of
my
course.
honorable mentions. It's not gonna be in this one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this is probably my favorite Disney film of all time. I think this, like, firstly, it's got this like really wondrous joy about how Aladdin, the character, goes about his life, even though he's this poor struggling kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I really connect with this film is, of course, partly representation, right? We're both brown guys.
Yeah.
And when I was living in India, we would see it always on television. But from something from the West to represent a brown guy was like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a whole new world.
Yeah. Because usually you just think, oh, this is just our world and that's their world and there's no like crossing over or anything. And then slowly you get opened up to this idea, a brand new world, literally. But the other reason I really love this film is Robin Williams, R.I.P.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic voice actor, fantastic.
Yes, he was incredible.
Fantastic person, yeah. I know that Robin Williams has some mixed feelings about how Disney went about marketing this movie, which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But he was an incredible person. His genie will be unmatched. There are fewer characters which I would love as much as the genie. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Aladdin. Oh, speaking of Aladdin, let's not even forget the sequel movie of this, which is King of Thieves or Prince of Thieves. I love that movie.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think I've mentioned this to you before, and to let the audience know that the water scene from that movie near the end is one of those things that gave me fear as a child, of like large, expansive underwater spaces. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yes, Aladdin would be in my honorable mentions. So would Beauty and the Beast. I forgot to mention this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in the honorable mentions as well. Didn't make it to the list. Didn't come pop in my mind quick. But yes,
Yep.
Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. These are some of the Disney classics that I would have loved to put in my list. Aladdin as well, specifically the moment where he decides to be selfish. And it felt like a real moment to me, like a hero not choosing this moment, right? He would be selfless. A stereotypical storybook hero would choose to be selfless, but Aladdin chose to be selfish to learn the meaning of selflessness later on, and that was a choice I didn't see coming as a kid at all. And great choice putting that in the kids' movie at that point. Yeah.
Yep. Also, I have to shout out Jafar, great villain, and the parrot, voiced by Godfrey.
Yeah. That ending. You do not see where it is going. He's already the most strongest magician. What is he gonna do next? What is he gonna do?
Yes.
And there it is. There's the trap. And he's playing it perfectly.
Yes. Greed, blinding the villain.
Now, my number 6. We saw it very recently. It is one of the all-time classics in my opinion. Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust.
Yep.
So I would have even probably put it higher, but this popped in my mind a bit later. So correspondingly to that, I just put it in my number 6 position. This is, I think, one of the most beautiful animated movies ever made.
Agreed.
And the level of
especially that scene in the tunnel.
The tunnel scene, the level of detail that went into the lightings, right? The conceptual ideas to like, it's a familiar world, but everything is simultaneously alien. But and in that alienness, you still find something that's familiar enough that you wanna associate with these characters and the journey that they're going through. And that's why I love this movie. Also, I love the scene in the new town where he meets the man who sells a horse.
Oh
and
yeah.
Story. I personally love that horse.
Yes.
It's a very beautiful book.
I also want to give it a shout out for its like unique interpretations of some of these classic like horror themes. Like the werewolf in it was so unique, and even the girl that was like that could turn into the branches, the trees,
Oh
and
yes, the
whatnot
triad.
was
Yes.
so cool, so interesting. Yeah, and also its blend of like fantasy and sci-fi. Like again, this is my bias for vague world building coming through. Like it's mixture of these what you would consider fantasy tropes or neo fantasy tropes with sci-fi like guns, and you would see people with metal like on their bodies and whatnot. It was hella sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, I can agree with that 100%. All right. Now, since you mentioned your number 6, I'll
Number
go for my number 5.
5. Yep.
This might shock you that it's not high, but I can assure you that the ones above this deserve their spots as well. So, number 5, The Incredibles 2004.
Okay. I also have The Incredibles as my number 5.
Okay, okay.
This is
we're
the
of
best
one mind
Fantastic
at this
Four
point.
film.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the best Fantastic Four film, the
Yeah.
best like family animated film. I don't think there's any animated film about a family as good as The Incredibles.
Some things
Like,
come close. Mitchell's versus the Machines. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Meet the
Or Meet the
Robinsons.
Robinsons we
Yeah.
mentioned. Yeah, close. But nothing feels just as like palpable, as amazing, as wondrous as The Incredibles.
I think
right?
nothing makes you want to be each character of the family as The Incredibles. Yeah. You can identify with every one of them because it's universal comments.
Yeah.
It's the strong father, the flexible mother, the shy
Yep.
bee, the overexcited younger child, and
Yep.
the infinitely
edgy.
potential baby.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The baby. And Edna Mode. Shout out to Edna Mode. That no capes.
Yes,
Everyone will
no
always
capes.
remember no capes.
No capes has become a phenomenon. It's stuck around
Yes.
since then. It's the golden
Yep.
rule.
Yep. All jokes in that film hold up incredibly well.
Let's be
when he
real,
goes
let's
up
be
to
real.
get the cat from the tree.
Imagine the
When
death
we
of
meet Bon
Homelander.
Voyage. I love Bon Voyage just
Yeah.
because of that.
Imagine the death of Homelander is because of escape.
That would be hilarious.
Yes. Also, never forget one of the best animated villains of all time, Syndrome.
Syndrome.
So
A
simple.
hater. A true hater.
Yes, true hater. So simple, so easy to write because it's built up. It's built up perfectly.
Yes.
And everyone could get it.
An echo of never meet your heroes, right?
Yeah, never meet your heroes ever
Yeah.
again. But again, that line, that I'll sell my inventions to everyone, and everyone can be super. And when everyone is, no one is.
Yes.
Yes, that's such a line. Yes.
Also, the family drama in it is great,
Mhm,
and
yeah.
also like the intense scenes, like that scene where they're sitting at the table and you see this beautiful like flowing lava in the background is like seared into my mind. I will never forget that scene for that.
Thank you for reminding me something, because right after that, there comes a scene which is Mr. Incredible searching through the system and finding out the friends and former heroes who've been slain.
Oh yeah,
It is
you
one
get
of the
these
greatest
small lore
montages
drops.
in a movie. It is one of the greatest montages.
With that music as well in that background.
Yes.
Ah,
The escalation, the way the information is conveyed to the audience. Remember, not one word is spoken there. You're just seeing visuals and you know exactly what's going on.
yeah. And every now and then you'd see one of the heroes beat the thing, and you're like, oh, and then instantly they're dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Number 4. Let's see what you got.
Number 4 was this is maybe the film that I've rewatched the most in my adult life, at least. Maybe not my entire life, but my adult life. I will watch the scene any day of the week, when I'm sad, when I'm happy, when I'm like on the ground, have nothing to do, when I'm bored, which is Shrek. Shrek 1 specifically. I know
what's my
people
number
love
4?
Shrek 2.
Guess what's
But
my number
Shrek
4? Yes.
Shrek as well. It's just so good. I know it went through a renaissance era where it's like, oh, people are like, this is a bad film now because it's aged badly. But now it's come back and it's so good. All the like, it's the jokes in it have become like a time capsule of that 2000s, which so many people reminisce of. So many people our age reminisce of those like 2000s. And it's so good. We get the Matrix grandma kick, and we get like so many like twists and turns on what you would consider the general like fantasy of what Disney built, right? This was the subversion to all the Disney classics, and it nails it and then goes beyond.
I think
And it holds up
the
as a
time
medal.
you see Shrek is indicative of how much you're gonna like it. Because I saw it right in my early teens, and I love that movie. I love that sense. But I can maybe see like a younger child, me, not liking it as much as a kid because I want to see the stereotypical heroes. But seeing the one of the all-time best anti-heroes in Shrek is such a pleasing one, and I've watched this movie many times.
Yeah,
But
it's
when you
so
were
goofy.
bringing up the initial description, it reminded me of a movie that I completely forgot about, that I should really put it in my honorable mentions list, which was when you said, oh, I've rewatched this a lot, I've seen this one scene and it's made me cry. The movie that came up in my mind was How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, you didn't even put How to Train Your... Wow, what a fraud.
Yes, How to Train Your Dragon is
Your list
not
is
on
scuffed, man.
my
Come
list. And I'm so sad. I'm so sorry to anyone who's listening. I'm wanting to throw a fist through the screen and punch me. But it is not on my list. And that
It
is
was in
so
my honorable
shocking
mentions. I
compared
literally
to how
I
many
literally
times
didn't say
I've
it in my
seen this
honorable
movie.
mentions because I was waiting for you to say it in your list.
I've seen this movie well over 50 times as a kid. But when I was asked, what are your greatest animated top 10 movies? I couldn't think of this. And it's so sad because it is also, once again, one of the best movies that I've ever made in an animated format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely understandable. Completely understandable.
Alright, so since you said the number 4, and
Yep.
since mine has been a bit controversial, I told you everything about this, everything about number 5 is gonna make sense once I say it. My
Okay.
number 3 is The Lion King.
Yes, okay. Understandable. Now, Lion King did not make my top 10, but it was something I want to give honorable mentions to for sure. I did already say Aladdin is my favorite Disney film, so Lion King was never going to be there after, but yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
why Lion King? I mean, Lion King, I think the thing with Lion King is it captures, like, this childlike wonder of
Animals.
Simba growing up, right?
Animals.
Yeah, okay, past the
Exactly.
animals and stuff.
Yeah. I think this is the movie, if you never seen an animal literally before, this will get you interested in animals. And for
Yes,
me,
very much so.
I've never seen like videos of lions or anything
No.
prior to this. And this was my
No.
first exposure to most animals apart from like a picture book.
Yep.
And as my very first animated movie, which I'm seeing at the right young age of 4 years old, this was
Yep.
something incredible. He couldn't
Yes.
stop thinking about this. And the whole story of it as well is such
Scar.
a heartbreaking story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Timon
Scar, the
Pumbaa.
hyena scene, I still remember that. I mean, it has one of the greatest opening scenes in animated film history, right? The sun rising, the music kicking in, you see the animals in their natural habitats,
Yep.
all leading up to the birth of Simba. Yeah.
The unveiling of Simba. Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Fantastic.
as well that Lion King might have been my very first death in a movie as well, and that's as a 4-year-old child. My very,
Very
first
first
death in a
betrayal
movie.
as well.
Yeah,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah. I didn't think much of the betrayal of the movie because the death was so much more impactful. You felt so sad. It's a father figure that you equate. As a kid, you want to be Simba, so you see Mufasa as a father figure, and it's him dying, and it's it was so shocking as a kid.
For
Yeah.
sure.
All right.
Also didn't mention Simone and Pumbaa.
Yeah, I did mention them, but yeah, I think
okay,
we got
great.
talked over for that.
Great comic relief. So your number three was what? It was Lion King. My number three, we're going across the pond. We're going to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about a story about a kid that bullied a deaf girl, and
Ooh.
he takes his entire teenage life trying to make up for it in this toxic environment called Silent Voice.
Ooh. Okay, spoiler alert, that was my number two.
Fair enough, fair enough. Silent Voice, I mean, we can talk about it here. Incredible film about overcoming anxiety, over having these like deep suicidal thoughts, and how he tries to make amends for his past, and even what he considers something that he can never undo. And all it takes him is him making an effort, right? All he does is make an effort. He takes 1 foot forward, he meets the girl, he decides to take some lessons on sign language. That's all it took. And in time, he was able to overcome this past trauma that he put himself in, by the way. That was all his own past trauma, but it's a product of the environment he grew up in as well. Not to mention the mom, sister, found family sort of themes. Great stuff. Yeah,
Since we
I
switched
mean,
over, because this is my number two, I felt, I saw this movie right next to watching Your Name.
yeah,
And I mentioned this to you earlier that Your Name was a movie that I loved, but I couldn't watch over and over again. But Silent Voice is something that I've seen multiple times and I've enjoyed it a lot. It's
yeah,
a very, very human movie.
very much so.
Very much
Some
so.
people
Yeah.
feel like they're above redemption even, and they're not. And for some people, it's about cutting that toxic part of your life out, right?
It's never too late to try to correct the mistake.
Exactly. Especially love the scene at the end where he's at the carnival and all the exes fall off.
Yes,
Along
yes.
with the final quote unquote fight scene, if that's what you want to call it, where they're at the hospital when once he's jumped off.
Yes.
Yeah, when they're all the parties are confronting. It's like, wow, okay. This is like
The music
incredibly
at the
hard to
carnival
watch, but great.
Yeah, the music at the
Yeah.
carnival scene, which
Yeah.
I want to point out, I have specifically added it to my playlist. It's called
Yeah.
lit.a. That is the
Yeah.
name of that song. So if anyone wants to specifically listen to that, it's called lit.a from Silent Voice. Yeah, go ahead and check
The
it
intro
out.
music is great as well, by the way.
Yes, the intro is something awesome. It set the tone, like this is something else. You're not saying something generic.
Yeah. I mean, the intro itself is like very fun, very lighthearted. It's just a bunch of kids like kind of having fun, right? And then the girl gets introduced, and then it starts taking the darker turn, and you're like, oh, and then it cuts, and you're like, wait, what? We're not doing this story? And then it goes back to him in his present life, and then you see, oh, that's why he was standing over the bridge. That's why he was X, Y, and Z, and you're like, oh, wow, okay. I understand it now. Yeah.
The bridge start off is one of the best points as well, because you don't see any movie starting off that way. Especially, you're never gonna see a kids movie starting off that way.
Definitely not.
Right. So, since it both coincided as your number two and number threes, let me hear what's your number two.
My number two is, I think, a film that you haven't watched yet, which is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the first one.
True. I've not seen the Spider-Verse movies because I thought, I could watch this. When I thought maybe I should save this for content. Maybe I should get the people behind me.
Fair.
I will do a Spider-Verse movie.
Watch it.
When we
at some
reach
point.
100 subscribers. So simple. I'll make the starting small.
Fair.
100 subscribers, I will do a Spider-Verse movie.
Get us there, folks. Come on, please. He needs to see this. He needs to know why it's so good.
Alright.
I will also honorable mention Spider-Verse 2. The problem with that is at the time of recording, it's not a complete story. So I can't really put it in the top 10. But Spider-Verse 2 and 3 as a package Into the Spider-Verse in general easily has the opportunity to become the best Spider-Man trilogy to date in all forms of media, full stop. But why I specifically like Into the Spider-Verse 1, other than, amazing animation, everyone's heard of it, everyone's talked about how much detail they've put, and I also have to mention that unfortunately the people working on this got paid poorly. We should probably try more to support the animation industry in general, but yeah, that was unfortunate.
When you say they got paid poorly, do you mean that Papa did this, or?
No, it's not like that. But I mean,
Okay.
animation in general, I mean, it's tough deadlines, you've got to be working overtime, etc., etc. It's a Sony movie, so Sony Industries, it's not like they don't have infinite money already, so why not just pay them properly to make the film? I don't
The
know.
Sony anime monopoly is real, guys. Let's
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
something good
very much so.
comes out of this. Hopefully.
This was coming alongside the SPOM universe, by the way, Sony Pictures Marvel movie universe of Craven and Madam Web. Like, on one hand, their animation industry was booming like crazy, and their live action industry is crashing and burning like nothing before.
Catastrophic is minimizing the damage.
Yeah. But anyways, why I love Spider-Man 1 specifically, I think there's a theme amongst a lot of this, right? Amongst Spider-Man 1, Silent Voice, Shrek, Aladdin, even Incredibles has this Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's the story of self-realization of who you are. And this specifically works with Miles Morales because he is kind of ultimately not necessarily what you would call a traditional Spider-Man. At least not in these movies. In the comics, we've got a different case, but not in these movies. And him going through what is basically the leap of faith, that journey itself was so amazing to watch him overcome his doubts and his fears. And also with old Spider-Man, it's always nice to be able to relate to them on their family dynamics and the struggles they have with their families and juggling responsibilities and so on and so forth. So yeah.
Thank you for bringing up the word leap of faith, because it just triggered a visual in my mind. And it led me to Assassin's Creed, but Assassin's Creed doesn't have an animated movie. But
It has a really good what do you call a live action movie, I've heard, right?
But what it suddenly connected my mind was a movie that I probably should add to the honorable mentions list in a personal favorite of my category. I don't think most people would agree with this. But the 2007 TMNT movie.
Okay, fair enough.
Because
is that the one where they have to capture all the different
yes, that's the one.
things, put them in the tubes? Yeah,
that's the one. And I really love that. That was my very first exposure to TMNT, and I really like that one.
We also need to watch the new TMNT movie, by the way.
Yeah. But maybe audience, do you want to be part of that? Do you want to be part of a watch along to the new TMNT movie?
One day,
Let us know in the comments.
Too much content to consume for our little brains.
I mean, that's good. It's an open horizon. It's not a narrow passage to go through. So
yeah, exactly.
Open horizon is much better idea to compare yourself. Anyway,
yeah, very much so.
Since I dragged you into the number 2, you can drag me into the number 1. What is your all-time favorite animated movie?
So, I mean, we've talked about this somewhat, and to me, when I watched this movie, I was very little, and at that point, this movie was just like colors. It was really colorful, really nice, and I kind of just put it away after that. I didn't really come back to it until I became like teenager and throughout my ending years of my teenage life. I was like, okay, yeah, I remember this film somewhat vaguely. I'll watch it again. And then I watched it again, and then I watched it again, and then I watched a million like video essays on it and everything. I was obsessed with it at the time. And this is an old Japanese movie called Akira.
Ooh, good one.
Akira. Again, fantastic visuals. This is back in the time where everything was hand-drawn. I would love to get a cell of Akira one day. One of the important cells, hopefully. The Akira slide, iconic, but none of that is truly what the story is about. The story of Akira is kind of constructed about what Godzilla and those sorts of stories were constructed about, which was nuclear war and the fear of the nukes, and specifically for Japan, right? At this time, they had already been hit twice. Both times were fairly unnecessary, considering Japan was already in rapid decline during that time. But the fallout of that created a completely different type of environment for Japan's industry on all sense, and you get that sense in this movie, right? Because they reconstruct Tokyo into Neo Tokyo. You see what basically everyone imagines to be the cyberpunk aesthetic. You see how it happens, and even past, themes of capitalism and how governments are overrun by people that are out just to make profits, and they're able to do the shadiest things in the darkest times. The true core of this story is about two friends and their struggle through all of the things that are thrown at them in life that they have no control over. These guns that are everywhere, the police, the street life they have to go through. And the other reason I love this movie specifically as well is, this might be weird to say, is that because it's different to its source material. Now, both Akira the manga and Akira the anime are done by the same person, so it's not to say that they're different people's visions. In fact, it's the same person's vision, but in two different ways. And I love that this movie is so good that it can stand on its own and be a different version of the story of the manga. The manga is it's not a completely different story, but it takes it to completely different places, and that is incredible, but we'll talk about that some other time, hopefully.
Yeah. You knowing me, you could probably guess which is my number one pick. But if the
Okay,
audience
I'm gonna
or-
guess this, and
Yes,
if it's
let's
not
see.
this, I will be disappointed, right?
All right, let's go.
In our time, of all the movies that we've watched, one of the movies you've given 10 out of 10 to
Yep.
is Howl's Moving Castle.
Nope.
No?
No.
Which movie was it
I've
then?
not seen Howl's Moving Castle.
No,
yet,
it's not
but
Howl's
you've
Moving
confused
Castle.
it
It's
with
yeah, with
Castle in the Sky.
Castle in the Sky. That's right.
Yes.
Castle in the Sky.
Castle in the Sky is my 10 out of 10.
Yes.
It is my all-time favorite movie, not animated movie.
Yeah.
And I've seen this as a child, I've seen this as a teenager, I've seen this as an adult, and I've loved it across all ages. This is my favorite movie. The music, the characters, the setting, the story, the villain, the technology, the world of it, everything. It's incredible. It's perfect the way it is. There's very few things that I would change into it, and it's at that point it's just going into fan fiction because I love this movie so much. I specifically, luckily for me, I don't know whether we could call it lucky, but I saw the Disney redub of this movie, which was an English dub. And why I specifically bring that up is because the villain was voiced by Mark Hamill.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love what he did with that character. You could never tell me that was Mark Hamill after listening to that character, because it's way different from anything else he's done. It's so stoic, it's so serious, but it's same time menacing and evil. It's just condensed evil. And since you mentioned it as well, this movie carries the same idea. It's a nuclear problem. And we're seeing this whole movie through the guise of two kids who are just going on an adventure. But the whole world is running an arms race for probably a nuclear solution. And it's indicative of like the 7 deadly sins in a way. It's everything. It's power, it's greed, it's pride, it's lust. It's all conglomerating on this one thing that if you don't see it in those eyes, is just a symbol of human capability, it's of peace, it's of idealism, it's of technology, it's of development. But then again, as they mentioned in the castle, the people of Laputa grew arrogant or power hungry and they waged wars among each other and eventually they
Yep.
crashed down, all came down to earth. And history
Absolute power
doomed
corrupts
to,
absolutely.
yeah, repeat itself.
Mm-hmm.
Also gonna bring this up because it stuck in my mind as a child, but I would never say, oh, I like this. But now I can say I really like this. It's a simple scene. It's Watsu waking up in the morning and blowing the trumpet, just letting out his birds, and you see the early morning sun setting onto the mining town, and you can feel a real town right there. You can feel life in those shots, and that is something that you can't find mostly, even in a full-on live-action movie. You feel like these are dead, these are characters, this is a fake world. But that world feels so alive right there, and that's amazing.
I mean, for me, Castle in the Sky, my favorite things about it is that vague world building thing it does, right? This past race that had this incredible technology were corrupted by it, and now we're back to exploring this world in the eyes of these two kids, and they're seeing for the first time the darker sides of it, right? Yeah. Though I didn't quite connect with the characters as much, but the world building, fantastic, amazing, and the music as well is quite
As a
good.
kid, seeing Patsu fly the glider into the storm is one of those things that you keep imagining. You want to make your own flying cycle to fly in the sky, take to the skies and fly into a storm, and it captures your imagination. It captures my imagination even now as an adult. I feel that is one of those achievements in animation where you can convey the childhood wonder through just images.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
Hayao Miyazaki has been known to make sure everything he does, especially architecturally for like planes or vehicles, is very detailed, almost like it could be made in real life.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see that full display in Castle in
Yeah.
the Sky.
Yeah. All right, folks,
Yeah.
that is our top 10. And I would
Fantastic.
reiterate this. This is our top 10 today. Maybe tomorrow it's going to be different. Should we make another top 10
Yeah.
a year from now, 2 years from now,
Ask us
5 years
tomorrow,
from now,
we'll change.
a decade from now? How much the world will have changed? Will
Yeah.
our top 10 completely be different at all? Right? We will
Yep.
never know. So, as I mentioned earlier, share your top 10 as well. And if possible, we will comment on that. We will give you our
Yep.
advice. We might like
Yep.
it. All right. So, folks, thank you for joining us today. And hope you have a
Buddy,
good
you don't
one.
need to
We'll
go
catch you
Australian.
next time. Yes, finally, we're both in the same continent now. And so,
Yeah.
I don't know how this thing is going to be put together in the edit, but the latency is super down.
Hopefully.
Hopefully it's all synced up perfectly and we can get something.
Yeah.
And if this
Yeah,
works
yeah.
out, you can see us more frequently. You will see us more frequently. We will be putting up.
We'll make it work some way. Don't worry.
Yeah, some way.
Some way.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.